Hello everyone, it's Mr. White the Tenor Engine here, and I am back again. But this time, it's a casting call announcement. Yay! And, well, today the casting call is about all the projects I've announced over the recent months. But this one specifically, the part 1, is about the first series I announced back in February, I think, about the Northwestern Railway, and I've asked a few people recently if they'd be interesting to voice act. I still haven't gotten any answers from anyone, and I'm still waiting. So, right now, I am just gonna show you the characters that still doesn't have any voice actors, and I'm gonna tell you the specific voices they must have, and if you are interested, you can send me your auditions in the comments below. So without further ado, I'll show you the characters. Emily must sound like how she was in the CGI era, and she must have the exact accent, and she must sound old, as well as having a calm voice. For Rosie, she must sound young and energetic, as well as how she sounded in the later CGI series. Murdoch must sound like Michael Brandon's voice, like the voice he gave him, and must sound a little different. He must have a softer spoken voice and a little bit deeper of a voice. And no, this is not depict how he will look like. This is just a TV series. He will look like how he was in his concept art. Next, we have a little different character. This is Barry the Rescue Engine. So, Barry is a standard 2MT who was meant to appear in the Railway series and in Book 30, except that he was dropped due to Brett Allcroft forcing Christopher Audrey to write more stories about Thomas for the TV series. But anyways, he will appear in my series, and he must sound a bit like Kevin Frank, the guy who voiced Henry for Thompson the Magic Railroad, except with a softer spoken voice. Next up is Daisy, the diesel rail car. The voice for her must be female. She has to be female, and well, she must sound like in the CGI series, like how Teresa Gallagher voiced her, except a bit more snooty sounding. She mustn't sound high-pitched, a bit lower-pitched, but not soft-spoken. And then there's Boko. So, Boko must sound like Kevin Frank. He must sound like him. Exactly Kevin Frank, and No alterations. Must sound like Kevin Frank. Next up are the troublesome pranksters Bill and Ben. They must sound like the show. Like in the CGI series. Except a bit higher pitched. And finally, for the Northwestern Railway, we have Mavis. She must sound like Michael Angelus's voice, or how she sounded in the CGI series. Next up is the Big City Engine. He is, he must sound like the Railway series narrator, and he must sound snooty and very deep. Next, we have Ginty. Ginty must sound like Michael Brandon, specifically Michael Brandon's Thomas voice. He must sound like that because I think either Thomas or Michael Brandon's Percy voice would do the trick. Or else you can just do any sort of young voice. That would be good. On the other hand, we have Pug. Pug is interesting because I think you can give him a high-pitched voice, except he has to be a little deeper than Ginty. Maybe Alec Baldwin's Percy voice would do the trick? I know. Now let's turn over to the Scarlet Railway.